Hi. So we are going to be working on 13.0. So we're going to go ahead and we're starting to talk about area and perimeter. So I'm going to fold my paper into 8 squares. And I'm going to go ahead and screen share it for you. And so I'm going to write my name on my paper. And this is lesson number 13.0. And we're going to be doing pages 196 to 199. All right. So let's take a quick look over here. So we have a little cartoon and this gentleman is saying, let's carpet the floor and put in a wallpaper border for the music room. We have to find the total area of the floor. The floor can be divided into 2 squares. How much carpet do we need? Let's measure the sides of the room to find the perimeter. What length of wallpaper border do we need? So if you're going to carpet a room, then you need to know the area of the floor. If you're going to use a wallpaper border, you would need to know the perimeter. So here are some things you should have already learned, but because of the pandemic, you may not have learned. So we're going to look at using an area model to show multiplication facts. There are 5 groups of 7 tomatoes. How many tomatoes are there all together? So 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7. This is an array model that's showing you 5 times 7. And we end up with 35, right? So when you find the area of something, you're taking this measurement and this measurement and you're multiplying them together. And that's going to tell you the area. The area of a figure is the amount of surface covered by the figure. So the standard units used for small areas are centimeter squared, inch squared. The standard units for large areas are square meter and square foot. All right, so when we're finding the area of a figure, you can count the square units to find an area. The figure is made up of 5 1 centimeter squares. The area of the figure is 5 centimeters squared. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? The perimeter of a figure is the distance around it. The standard units used for short distances are centimeter and inch, or for larger distances is meter and foot. So finding the perimeter, you're going to use a formula to find the perimeter, and that is the length of the sides added together equals the perimeter. Okay, so here's how I remember that. Let's write this down, and we'll write it right here at the top. So the formula for finding the area is the inside measurement. So if I want to find the area, it's the inside measurement inside a shape, like the shape of your floor. If you're buying carpet, you want to cover the whole floor with carpet. The perimeter is the measurement around. So the perimeter is the measurement around a shape. Okay. So area is inside, perimeter is around the outside. Now the formula that you use to find the area is area equals length times width. That's a cursive L. And the reason why I make a cursive L is because if you just write a regular L, it looks like a number 1. All right, and the measurement around a shape, the perimeter equals side plus side. Oops, sorry. I have to say the neighbor's dog has been barking for like 4 hours straight. It's kind of starting to wear on me. Side plus side plus side plus side. Zoe McDougal was in here and she said, "What is wrong with that dog?" So the formula for finding the perimeter is adding the sides together. However many sides you have, you add them together and it tells you the measurement around a shape, okay? If you multiply the length times the width, it tells you the inside of the shape, the measurement of the inside of the shape, okay? So let's look at number 1. Number 1 is showing this figure right here. It says there are 3 boxes of 5 pencils with 5 pencils in each box. So this is showing 3 boxes. This is showing 5 pencils in a box. So 3 times 5 equals green box, rows of green box. And that equals green box plus green box plus green box. And that equals this. And we're going to say there are green box pencils in all. Ah, my pen's dying. I'm going to have to use a pencil. I'll write really dark though. Okay, so if we know that we have 3 times 5, that means that we have 3 rows of 5. And that means that we can say 5 plus 5 plus 5, and that's going to equal 15. And that means that there are 15 pencils altogether. Now, the way I would probably do that is I would use length times width. So I would say 3 times 5 equals 15. All right. Number 2 is asking us to trace the figures that are in your book. So I'm going to try to do that right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace them and then I'm going to clean them up with a ruler. So this is number 2. I have a shape that goes from here to there. And then I'm going to use my drawing triangle without drawing it in the book. All right. Outline the perimeter and shade the area of each figure. Okay, that's pretty easy. Let's do number 3 while we're at it. So number 3, again, I'm just putting a little dot. You can see it through the paper. And then I'm connecting them. So I'm going to shade the inside and I'm going to outline. And I like green, so I'm going to shade the inside green. Of all my shapes. So the green is going to be the area And then I'm going to use a Sharpie, but I'm not going to use a Sharpie on top of my math book, because that would be a disaster. So I'm going to use a Sharpie to just kind of outline this part. So the perimeter is the Sharpie. The area, use my pencil here. The area is the green part. Okay. All right, let's look at 4 and 5. So we're going to do 4 and 5, and I'm going to do them exactly the same way. I'm setting my book down carefully, and I'm going to mark 4. This one's really hard to see. Okay, and then 5 looks like a little house. Okay. And so I'm going to go ahead and draw them in with my drawing triangle and kind of look at what I'm doing so I make sure that they're correct. And then I have something that goes straight across. And then I have this. Okay. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to color them green. And I'm going to say that this is the area. And I'm going to outline them. And I'm going to say that the outline is the perimeter. Okay, pretty good. Okay, let's look at number 6. Put my colored pencil away. I didn't write in my book, for the record. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do 6 and 7. I'm putting my Sharpie away so I don't have a terrible accident marking in my book. So let's look at number 6. It says find the area of the figure. So I have something that looks like this. I have 6 squares on the bottom. And then I have a square on either side. So if I'm counting this, I would just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 is my area. It's 8 centimeters square, right? I'm just counting up the number of squares I have. Now, because I know this is length and width, so if I said this is, I could kind of go like this and I could say this is 3 by 3, 3 times 3 minus this 1 square. So length times width equals area. So I could say 3 times 3 equals 9, and then minus 1 because that was not there, right? Number 7, I'm going to find the perimeter of the figure. And the figure kind of looks like a mountain with a line out here and a line at the bottom. This is 7, this is 5, this is 3, this is 3, this is 12. And they're all yards. So the formula for a perimeter is P equals side plus side plus side plus side. And in this case, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. So perimeter equals 7 plus 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 12. And you can chunk these by putting them in parentheses, and then it's easier to solve 12 plus 6 plus 12. 12 plus 12 is 24. So P equals 24 plus 6. P equals 30 yards. Okay, so we just use our formula. This is called a formula. And you just plug in the numbers to the formula and it helps you to solve the perimeter problem. All right. Okay. I hope that this was a good introduction to area and perimeter. And we're going to talk more about area and perimeter in this chapter. So I hope this helped. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to say farewell.